This is a tutorial on saving a PDF out of InDesign. It may seem pretty obvious to some people, but just in case you don't know how to do this, this is how. So, obviously the first thing you're going to make sure is that you've finished whatever it is you're going to export. You're happy with how it looks, because once you export to a PDF, you won't be able to make changes to it. You'll have to either re-export a new PDF to overwrite what you've originally done in order to make changes to that PDF. So I'm going to make sure that this is saved. I'm going to make sure that it is complete, that everything's on there, that all my stuff is laid out like I want, it looks like I want, my fonts are embedded and everything. And then I'm just going to go to File, Export, and then I can name my file. I can choose a location. So maybe we're going to drop this into tutorials, into Tasty Toots, into complete, into my, I don't know, we'll just throw it in here to start. And we're going to call it bike leaflet, and I'm going to go to the bottom under this format, and it'll look a little bit different if you're working on a PC, but you're going to look for somewhere that says format, and then you have options to choose from. So you have the option to choose PDF print or interactive. For this, we're going to use PDF print, and actually for the final, we're going to use also EPUB with fixed layout. So for this particular instance, I just simply want to keep it PDF print. I will click Save. Now I have a bunch of PDF export options. I can choose the number of pages that I want to export, if I want to export all the pages, or if I want to export pages maybe 2 through 5, if I want a very specific range of pages. In this case, I'm going to select all. I can export pages, or I can export spreads. Pages, if I want to take a look at what pages looks like, pages would simply be 1 page, 2 page, so I have a 6-page layout here. Pages would export each of these as a single page. If I go back in here and I export these as spreads, which is actually what I would want to do, those spreads are then going to be, because this is a 3-page spread, this is a 3-page spread in my document, that's what I want to export as my PDF. Now some of the other things I might want to include are under marks and bleeds. If I want to print this and I want to make sure that I have printer's marks turned on, I want to make sure that if I'm using a bleed, if I have a bleed, so images going off the edge of the page, and I don't know if this document really gets into, this document doesn't really get into how to set up a bleed. We will talk about that later on, but once you've set up a bleed and you're using a bleed in your document, you want to make sure on your export that you use document bleed settings, and it will tell, then it tells the PDF to make it slightly larger, and so a bleed is essentially where you would crop off the edge to get image all the way to the edge of your document. So I turn on printer's marks, I turn on bleed settings. I don't really need to mess with anything else in here. I just simply need to click export, and it tells me that I can't, well, okay, there's fonts missing, so I can, but it will use system default fonts, which is fine. You should have the fonts installed for everything that you export, so it shouldn't give you the same trouble. And then that's all that really needs to happen. I can go to my folder. I can go to the tutorials. I can go into the start folder, and here's the bike leaflet PDF that I just exported. I would optimally open this up, take a look at it, make sure it looks like I want it to look, make sure the images are correct, make sure the text looks fine and everything. You can see here are my crop marks and my printer's marks. The crop marks out here, the printer's marks, the color bar, the registration targets, and my bleed settings are the red line here is my bleed. So I have this all set up to print, and it looks like it's ready to go. So my next step, if I were to be doing this as an assignment, would be to submit it to Blackboard. And there is a tutorial on how to do that also. Thanks for watching. Best of luck.